All right, here we are. That's right, I am here for it too, Mike. All right, you're the first one here, huh? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. How's your week been? I feel like before we, I don't know, get underway with kind of what I want to do today, give people time to kind of filter in with a good old ranking. Everyone loves a good ranking. Um, Man, I watched, as you probably know, I watched, yeah, like all of the Infinity Saga, and I got some thoughts. I got some thoughts, man. Um, Definitely. I feel like overall, the Infinity Saga is pretty stellar. Definitely got some lows. I feel like I'm gonna just kind of rank, like I said, some of these things as we give people a chance to kind of filter in. Let's get some music in here. Let's get some music that won't get us copyright struck. Uh, there we go. Kind of throw that in the background. All right. I don't know if you're familiar with the Knights of the Old Republic games, but that's my jam. I feel like I could just. This is my quintessential study music right there. Hey, nice. Hey, dude. Yo, 15 bucks in 3 hours. I feel like that's really good for a live stream. Honestly, good job, man. What was yours on? What was your live stream on? I'm going to. Okay. You know what? We're gonna rank these in chronological as much as I can remember. So, our first one here is Captain America, First Avenger. Um, as much as Steve is like basically probably my favorite character in the MCU, and as much as I love what they did with him later, gotta say this movie at the time, and even kind of on rewatching it, didn't really do it as much for me. Something about Joe Johnston's directing style just does not click with me, whether it's this or Jurassic Park 3 or even The Rocketeer. He did the Rocketeer, right? Like on paper, he should be awesome, but just, he never does it for me. So I'm putting it on C. Oh, I haven't seen the new video yet. I'll have to check that out. What comics are you? So you have a $90 goal to buy some comics to review. Are you buying any specific like an omnibus or something? Or are you buying like a bunch of different ones, or what are you looking to get? And the next, Captain Marvel. It feels weird to put Captain Marvel above Captain America, but I'll probably put it as C as well. I mean, like for me, like C is just like it's like it's doable. I don't hate it, but you know what? Actually, I might knock that one up. There we go. Miscellaneous. Oh, hey, how did you like? I have not seen Fantastic Four yet. How did you like Superman? Personally, I liked it kind of a bunch. It wasn't like I think for my money, it's the best Superman, the best modern Superman film for my money, but it's still not like the quintessential like this is the end all be all of Superman films, if that makes sense. Um, I was shocked at how much Superman threw in there, and it still did not, for me, feel like a huge jumbled up mess. Like there was like 4 movies worth of ideas and plot points in there, but somehow it just made it all pretty cohesive. All right, and then Iron Man, yo, I mean you can't, come on, Iron Man. I feel like even outside of the meta narrative of it started the whole universe. Iron Man is just just a solid film. And then after Iron Man was Hulk. Yo, I don't know about you, man, but Hulk, pretty solid. That might be. I liked it more than Captain America for sure. Something about Hulk. especially this one. I like the thing that, like, we're almost afraid of the thing that gives our hero his power. I think that's not done a ton. I don't know. It's pretty awesome for me. Moving on to, there it is, Thor. Yo, it was funny. Like Thor, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing." Watching it now, it's pretty by the numbers. So I'm gonna make it a B. But man, it's the potential was so there for Thor to be like the Marvel's answer to the Lord of the Rings, and somehow it just never hit it. Like the motions were there, and I don't know. The set dressing was right, but something about it, like it just never hit that super epic height. You know, I as much as I like Thor, like he's like my favorite, one of my other favorite. Like his arc, I say in the video, in the latest video, his arc is probably my favorite. But none of his movies, I think, hit the potential of the character. Raising, out of context, I'm raising $90 to get super dead. Could be an interesting sentence. Went into from Maddie Summers in response to a challenge from Mickey. I need to. I'm gonna Google that really fast, man. 1 second. This is called Super Dead. Let's say issue 1. Is this what you're talking about? It looks like a. I don't know. Okay, so what is? I know I'm asking you a lot of questions. What is the? What's the gist of this? I've never heard of this. Oh, hold on. Huh. Is it? Where is it? Is it an older comic? Is it still running? For some reason, I got this kind of mixed up in my head, and I was like, rated 48 and up. Only you guys could handle that. He's super and he's dead. Well, I mean, that's all you need to know, really. That's tight. All right, nice. Huh. Speaking of superheroes, so I'm wrapping up Phase 1. Avengers. By golly, where'd it go? There it is. Avengers. I feel like I'm gonna put that on like top tier, but maybe only barely. I don't know. In the moment when I'm watching Avengers, I'm like, oh, this is so amazing. But then afterward, I'm like, maybe it's more like a second tier. But no, I'm gonna go ahead and let it. It is just so fun to watch. After the in the moment, like, yeah. It may not be the deepest thing ever, but like it knows what like a movie should be, honestly. Ah, God, I was gonna sneeze, now I can't. I picked up a bit of a bug over the weekend, so if my voice sounds different, or if you hear me like chugging some water, throwing in a cough drop, just know that's why. Something going around. You always think it's allergies, but it's never allergies. You think Thor is A-level? Okay. You can't stand Thor as a character? That movie made you like him again. Well, so do you can you not stand Thor like in the MCU? Do you mean, or just mainly do you mean you can't stand him in like the wider comic universe? Let's see. After Avengers, chronologically, it's what did I say came after Avengers, or what comes after Avengers? Oh yeah, Thor the Dark World. Which is, do I have it? You know what? I don't think I do have it. Give me 1 second. I'll have to grab it. All right. see it there, let me know. I don't think I have it. See, that shows you how forgettable Thor: The Dark World is, honestly. Thor: Dark World. Okay. Alright, let's add... there we go. Okay, now we have it. Okay. You don't like magic-y, wagicky characters? No rules? Yeah. Well, that's the tough part with magic. Well, hey, MCU, technically it's not magic, right? It's as Jane says, it's just magic we don't understand, which is kind of hokey, honestly. I'm gonna be... Ugh. I'd love to put Thor: The Dark World, like, right here. You know, because it's not quite... I feel like it's a disservice to put it that low, but it's not quite up here yet. So, I can put it right there. Captain Marvel gets an F. Yeah, I mean... I can see how... I think the saving grace... I don't know. For some reason, I like her as a character, even though Brie Larson plays her so dead. So there's something about it still kind of gets me. Thor: The Dark World, I can understand how that gets an F2. I mean, like, I enjoyed it enough to not... There is one movie on here that is an F for me. And, you know, you can probably guess what it is from the video, but that's the only one that I got absolutely no enjoyment out of when I was watching it. At least the others, if there's some redeeming factor, I'll give it a C. After Thor, we have Iron Man 3. For me, that's an A, man. I was a little... Oh, wait, no. Iron Man 2. Oh, Iron Man 2 was in Phase 1. Oh, man, I forgot. Iron Man 2, for me, is a solid B. Then 3 is an A. Honestly, I was surprised at how much I liked Iron Man 3 on this rewatch. You can't imagine anything under her, or Captain Marvel. Yeah, I wish she gets her powers, and instead of a magic-sounding fight scene, we got just a girl from No Doubt. Yeah, that was weird. That was, I mean, that was a little patronizing, maybe, or like a bit of a hat on a hat moment, where like they didn't really have to do that. We get she's a bad A chick, but yeah. Nah, I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, Captain Marvel both was surprisingly more restrained than I thought it would be, and also went a little bit too far than I wished in some places, if that makes sense. Like, it definitely plays up the, you know, like, women can't have emotions trope. And like, oh, she's so strong. But I feel like other filmmakers would have really laid it on way thicker. So I don't know. But there's definitely plenty of patronizing films out there that I just can't stand. Iron Man 3, though, you know what? I used to not care for it as much, but then on this rewatch, like, hands down, it is probably my favorite Tony Stark-centric film. Like, it honestly tells a self-contained, or like a full character arc from beginning to end. He learns something, he makes a big change, and then like it's kind of, well, it's super undermined later on, which really devalues the film. But as it's on its own, I really like Iron Man 3. Yeah, I think Captain Marvel suffers from well, it's funny because like I find the first act for me kind of the best part of it for me. I kind of like the idea of she's on the side of this force that we knew previously as the bad guys, on this kind of special forces team. That was kind of cool. Second act was predictable. Like, it really played against that you know, I'm an outsider and I don't know how stuff works, which you gotta admit, I guess, was kind of really big in the 90s. So in that way, it plays into its 90s setting a little bit. Third act, I just take it or leave it. Wonder Woman 1984. You know what? I need to watch that one again because I watched that during COVID, and I feel like every movie you watched, like every new movie you watched during COVID, for me was like pretty stellar. Just because of, I don't know, just the time it was. Um, like when I watched Quiet Place Part 2, in the moment I thought it was really cool, and then after that I was like, oh, that's actually really, really weak. But I don't know. Something about watching a theatrical film in your living room the day that it opens was kind of fun. And I don't know, felt kind of cool. Okay. After Iron Man 3, we have... what did we have after Iron Man 3? Was it Winter Soldier? I think... Yes. I'm going to say yes. Honestly, my memory is shut right now, so I'm going to maybe loosen up on the whole chronological thing and just go for it. Winter Soldier is A, or that's an S, man. That's an... Like, this tier up here, for me, is like, that is the best you can ask from Marvel. That is the most you can ask from Marvel. That's the best they can do, and it's awesome, you know. Winter Soldier's great. You actually don't put A? Oh, you mean S? Yeah, where did S tier come from? I don't know. From all the time I was in school, A was the highest. After that, I'm gonna say, okay, Guardians. I say this is an A, honestly. Guardians Volume 2. Oh, right, because chronologically they both take place right one after the next. So Guardians 2 I'm gonna put as a B. You don't put Avengers at S. More like A. You know, oh, maybe, yeah, stands for superior. I am close to putting Avengers as an A. I almost did, if only for the fact that while I'm watching it, it is like my favorite thing at that time. It has some... I feel like that's Joss Whedon at his best, where everything feels so right while you're watching it. Like afterward, you're like, well, you know, it's not the deepest movie. There's not a ton to break down, but it juggles so much, and everyone has a time to shine, and all the characters feel true to themselves as they're set up in the MCU, which is not the case as much anymore. And so for those reasons, I put it as an S, but I could definitely see how you would put it as an A. I almost did too. After Guardians, so Guardians, I give it an A. It's just similar reasons. It kind of pulls off the impossible. It makes you really care for this team that you never heard of. And then Guardians 2, not that it's bad, but it does... Now I'm going to leave it as a B. After Guardians 2, I'm going to say... What did come after that? Help me out here. After that was... Oh, what? Oh, wait. After that is Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron. This was the first MCU film I watched in the theater where I was not on board the whole time. Like, it felt like, oh, this MCU thing is not invincible. I'm going to put it as... The question is whether it's A or B, honestly. I might put it as a B, frankly. It's missing something that made the first Avengers really special. Oh, yeah. Guardians. All right, Guardians has an S, really. It definitely could be... Well, the only thing that would not make it... Well, I was going to say, like, oh, maybe the Infinity Stone angle would throw off some people, but I guess you don't really need to know the whole history with the MCU, or, with the Infinity Stones and the wider MCU to understand it. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, that could be an A. I might come back to that. Like, the S tier are the movies where, like, after you're done with them, like, you think about them for, like, the the rest of the day, and then the next day and the day after that. You know, is Guardians like that for me? I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna throw it. You know, I'm gonna knock that one up there. There we go. Because Guardians 2 is not. Yeah, I get way more enjoyment out of Guardians 2 than I do out of any of these. So that's more fair. No, no. Well, I like hearing what you think because it makes me reconsider and recheck my math. Honestly, this honestly makes a little more sense. Ultron, yeah, Ultron was. It has good ideas, but I don't think it necessarily conveys them the best. And it just feels like kind of a little bit of going through the motions and taking stuff for granted. So I don't know, could have been awesome, but no. So after Avengers, we had Ant-Man, dude. Ant-Man. Is it B? Edgar Wright, just you know, I think he's similar in terms of directing as like your James Gunn or your Taika Waititi or your Joss Whedon, where I think just if the director is firing on all cylinders and doing his best, then it elevates whatever you're watching, and it just makes it that much better. So most everything about the movie is pretty standard or nothing new, but just what he brings to it. If this was not an Edgar Wright movie, like if this was directed by Joe Johnston or whatever, then it would be down here. But just for the style and the fun, it gets bumped up to a B. Might need that cough drop in a second. Ant-Man gets an A. A for Ant-Man. Yeah. Corey Stoll, honestly, I feel like he should have been in a different film, because he's a great actor, honestly. And there's bits of his performance in Ant-Man that almost, for like a couple seconds, don't belong in Ant-Man. Because I think he gets, I don't know, he just does he's good at what he does. So he elevates the character a little bit, but overall I was disappointed that he got saddled with who he did. Like, he could have been I don't know, he could have been like an Ultron or something even. I have not seen this train. I've heard of it. Where do you watch that? I'm not sure. But he was good in like House of Cards and what else was he in? I don't know. He's really good at playing unhinged guys, but like barely contained. I don't know. So after Ant-Man, we had Civil War, I believe. Yeah, Civil War is almost an S for me, but only for the airport scene, which drags it down so much that now it has to be just an A. Like everything, well, most everything before and after the airport scene is great, especially the ending. The ending is amazing, but just the airport scene just feels like kids playing with toys, or action figures. I just cannot believe. Obviously, I go into it more in the video, but man, so disappointing. That was one that I watched in the theater, and I was like, "What is this? What is going on? Why does everyone say that?" Because there was so much buzz around the movie and so much hype about the airport scene. Oh man, it's so sick! You have to watch this. Nothing's better than it. It's the best scene of the whole, MCU. And it just didn't feel like a Civil War almost, In The Strain, he plays an epidemiologist drawn into an ancient war against a vampire plague. That sounds sick. Actually, I'd heard about it, but I never actually, looked into it too hard. That actually does sound pretty tight, and I might check that out. That was a few years ago, right? That was kind of a while ago, I need to get into that. That sounds tight. You know what? I'm actually kind of interested. What game looks nuts is the the Masquerade or whatever, Bloodlines 2. I was watching or reading a little bit about that. It sounds like a good old fashioned RPG. Good for them. Um. All right. After Civil War, we had Black Widow. Black Widow. That's my only F. Black Widow. You cannot. Black Widow. I'm sorry. That is a shame. That is a shame. That was a movie that just had to exist because Scarlett Johansson said it should. you know, she never. I think it's because DC made Wonder Woman, and so Marvel was like people were like looking at Marvel like, hey, why don't you have a female film? They're like, well, okay, and then they just put out Black Widow. Um, what are the White Wolf RPGs? Is that The Witcher? Maybe a dumb question. Oh, it's the publishing company. Yeah, I have a lot of gaps in my knowledge, as you can see, but that's pretty cool. I'm checking it out right here. Hmm. Are you kind of into RPGs at all, like tabletop? Um. Anyway, yeah, Black Widow. Black Widow to me is like the ultimate example of Marvel saying that they play with genres, but they actually don't. Like they all, oh hey, Black Widow it's an espionage thriller. It's gonna be great, but then like, all it does is the most superficial connections to that. Oh, she watches Moonraker. Oh, the title sequence is like super gritty, like Jason Bourne. Oh, she can clear a room kind of, but at the end of the day, it's just a quippy Marvel CGI weird fest. The beginning was too much the Americans, but I like the broken family dynamic. Yeah, the family dynamic was. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I don't feel like they used it to its potential. Um, and like it's hard for a family to feel broken if they're all kind of making jokes and if the tone is super light. You know what I mean? Um, it's almost like Marvel was afraid of actually showing us some real negative emotions or having characters actually have a hard time with each other. So yeah, like it told us, oh yeah, our family is broken apart, whatever. But as soon as they all come together, they all have dinner together, and they all, I don't know, you just don't feel it. The Americans, yeah, that is a good show, but yeah, I kind of agree. It was too much the Americans in the sense of it was too overtly gesturing towards that without actually knowing what it should do to actually feel like the Americans. Oh, how was City of Heroes? City of Heroes was one I wanted to play at the time really bad, but never got a chance to. And then the more I read about it and hear about it, the more I'm like, oh man, that'd be sick. Like that's one that in this age of, remasters and remakes, they need to do that again. Oh really? The Americans were spoiled for you. Oh man. Um, I need to finish it for sure. I keep meaning to, but it's just one of those things that it's great, it's there, but you just never. You always feel like I'll do it later. I rewatched Mad Men recently, but I need to finish the Americans. Star Wars and Star Trek are MMORPGs. I tried a little bit of Star Trek Online. Um, that was fine. I tried. I go back to the Old Republic sometimes. Um, that one's okay. To me, that one is stuck between being a single player game and being a multiplayer online game, where the narrative stuff that a single player would like and plays BioWare games for is so watered down because it's an online game that it's hard to enjoy it all that much. But I don't know. I'm not a huge online player anyway, so maybe it's not for me. Anyway, so we did Black Widow. Black Panther, it's an S tier for me. Yo, hey. Hi, Mari. We're ranking the MCU films of the Infinity Saga. Just did Black Panther. That is one where you get done with it and you feel like you just experienced something, you know? Like that movie, it has an issue on its mind, but it knows how to connect it back to the characters and let the characters grow while it deals with the plot, or deals with the central theme of the movie. You know, like Black Widow is about, you know, like human trafficking and, you know, women's issues and stuff like that, but it the characters themselves don't really grow as that gets sorted out. But Black Panther, it does. City of Heroes was great, but they always revise what doesn't need to be touched, right? Whether it's that or Star Wars Galaxies or whatever. I don't know why they do that. They always just mess with the game to the point where like it's not fun anymore. They had no clue. Predictability. I think just because that it's predictable doesn't necessarily, for me, knock it down. Like, let me see if I can vocalize this. Like, I don't know, you have your kind of classic archetypical stories, and they're archetypes for a reason, right? They're the classics for a reason. It's a good old-fashioned journey. Now, if it's predictable, like, this predictability, I don't know, it serves the characters so well, you know. If it was predictable, like Black Widow is pretty predictable in a bad way because it's uninspired. I feel like just because they don't surprise you necessarily doesn't mean it's not inspired, you know, and they don't have good things to say. Yeah. I think what is different too about Black Panther was how T'Challa actually is. He's not a static character. Like you look at I don't know, Ant-Man, you know, Scott Lang. I think he's pretty static. You know, like they don't grow from beginning versus the end. Iron Man 3, he grows from beginning to end. Iron Man 1, he does. Iron Man 2, I don't think he does. Not really. Captain America, he grows like physically, but like he was always a good person. He doesn't really change much. He doesn't evolve. Whereas like in Black Panther, he does evolve. T'Challa does evolve, like, and he's the king. So you usually you think, oh, maybe he's got no more growth to do, but he does, you know. Specific point, we need to hand-to-hand fight for the throne that T'Challa wins, so that we can set up the fight he loses. Yeah, it's not. It's definitely, you know, you sometimes you can see the you know, the nuts and bolts of screenplay writing unfolding in front of you. You know, like, okay, we have to set up the stakes, right? But it works for me. It's still shocking in the moment when he loses, even though you know what's going to happen. Ant-Man doesn't grow until Civil War. Yeah. Indigo! Hey, man. No, you're not late. It's all good. We're just ranking the Infinity Saga right here. We just did Black Panther. That's an S for me. I was just talking about how, you know, we're kind of talking about like, does predictability knock a movie down, you know? For me, it's an S. For Mike, it's more of an A for the predictability. And yeah, because usually predictability is enough to bug me, but for some reason I feel like with Black Panther I'm okay with it. And I'm like in the moment trying to figure out why. If I'm talking out loud here, I'm not sure. Alright. Anyway. Although, you know what would come dangerously close to knocking Black Panther down to A for me is the nanotech stuff. I just cannot stand the nanotech phenomenon in film. All nanotech does is it just makes it easier for the costume department and the people making the movie. They don't have to work out, well, how are they going to change into their costume, or how are they going to take off their helmet when they have to talk, because we have to pay the actors. But all nanotech stuff do is, I don't know, I think it just kind of makes the actual storytelling just a little bit lazier, and it makes it so that every single time a character says anything, their mask comes off, with the nanotech stuff. And then when they're done talking, it goes back on. And then 2 seconds later, it comes back off. And to me, that's super annoying. Super annoying. Don't mind predictability if the movie still could go another way. But if there's, literally no other way the movie could go. Yeah, I guess, it could feel like it's on rails a little bit. I get you there. I respect that. After Black Panther. So it's funny, like, the high point, like a high point of the MCU follows a low point in such a way. Like Black Panther, after Black Widow, I was so like, this this sucks. I don't want to watch these anymore. And then Black Panther kind of saved me. Yeah, the CGI towards the end of Black Panther, watching it this time especially, like, it does stick out so bad. But that's because, I guess, they kept changing their minds on what they're going to do in the third act. And so the special effects teams did not literally have enough time to make it good. What's wild, like, not to excuse that's not how you should do it. That's not fair to the special effects team. But what's bonkers to me is how Black Widow looks horrible throughout. And there's been articles written about Marvel's pretty toxic interactions with their special effects teams. Like, they jerk them around so much. It's not good. All right. After Black Panther, Spider-Man Homecoming. A little bit torn. I don't know if it's an A or B for me. Jeez Louise. You know what? I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna move Ant-Man down. Honestly, for me. Yeah, because Ant-Man is fine. But Spider-Man Homecoming is definitely better than Ant-Man, but not as good as Civil War. So that's what I'm going to do there. After that, like, I don't even know what to say about Homecoming. It's just kind of, it's Super Marvel in a Super Marvel good way. I don't know. It's when Marvel syndrome actually works, and that's how you get Homecoming. I am a little sick of Spider-Man, whether it's like this, or I guess Far From Home, or No Way Home. I'm sick of, or the games, of Spider-Man having technology. And it looks like they'll correct this in the next Spider-Man film. But I like it when he's just got the costume, and his only technology is like the web shooters. But he's not like, Iron Man Jr., where he has a assistant in his head, or he's talking to his friends nonstop, and he has, like, super shield deflecting technology, nanotechnology. No, to me, that's not who Spider-Man is, and so that's part of why it's not even higher. I just don't care for that. It would cost money and pull artists from more current work, but yeah, I kind of wish that. I'm a little surprised that studios don't remaster movies like game studios remaster their games, if that makes sense. It's so regular, it's so normal for older games to get remastered with better graphics, right? But like that doesn't happen in movies, and I feel like they kind of would make money and generate interest if you were to release, special editions of, like say, I don't know, older Spider-Man films, or like Black Panther, like re-release Black Panther, um, but with like super tightened up special effects. And it happens sometimes. Obviously, the first example is the special editions of Star Wars, which got a lot of blowback at the time. That was going maybe a little bit too far, where it actually adds in content. They didn't just freshen it up. But like Alien Romulus, in between the theatrical release and the home video release, they apparently did tighten up some of the effects, but like they didn't make it like a whole re-release or a whole thing or nothing. They just did that behind the scenes. But I agree that I would like it if that was more of a normal thing of remastering kind of older films with better effects. Homecoming is a C for you, Mike. Yeah. You don't like the way they have portrayed. They have Tom Holland portrays Spider-Man. He's Peter Parker is kind of a funny one. I guess this Peter Parker may feel a little bit more like Tom Holland than Peter. I haven't really seen a person who perfectly encapsulates Peter Parker for me yet, like Tom Holland doesn't really okay, his Peter Parker should be really intelligent, but not like, in as far as I think, not like a super genius where he just happens to like accomplish all kinds of almost magical feats of intelligence on the fly as the story needs him to, like, I don't know, he kind of needs to be a nerd. And the only time he's been a nerd was in like 2002, with Spider-Man 1. Yeah. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man's part Bugs Bunny, part badass. Yeah. Yeah. I actually liked Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than a lot of folks at the time. Like, when I watched it, I was kind of surprised people like just tore it apart. Like, I get maybe preferring, well, no, I didn't understand how they could prefer Amazing Spider-Man 1. To me, Amazing Spider-Man 1 was such a kind of a nothing story. It existed only because they wanted to reboot the whole thing, and all of the narrative beats were, you could see how they would have done different things if the movie hadn't come out so soon after Spider-Man 3, if you know what I'm saying. Like the way they handled Uncle Ben, to me, that it didn't seem like it was because the story dictated it. It seems like they handled Uncle Ben the way they did because they wanted to be different from the previous Spider-Man films, which had just come out like a few years before that. So it didn't feel natural. Amazing Spider-Man 2 started to actually feel like, oh, it's its own identity, and it's developing its own. It's like more secure in itself. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Andrew Garfield was really good at the humor, for sure. Yeah, the first two Raimi films are just great. They're so good, But there. 3, in hindsight, like, it's not as horrible as I thought at the time, but it's still such a step down. Anyway, Doctor Strange, I can put it as a B. It's not as meh as these ones here, but definitely not as great. I feel like they left a lot of potential on the cutting room floor, because I don't know. At a certain point, Marvel just started saying it's good enough, let's not get too wild here, with some exceptions. So after Doctor Strange, we had Thor Ragnarok. I'm gonna change up the ambience here. All right. What was it saying? Oh yeah. Spider-Man 2, Dark Knight, and Winter Soldier are my top 3 superhero films. Yeah. Oh, you thought the new? I assume you mean the new Fantastic Four is a 10 out of 10 for you. Interesting. I need to watch that for sure. I've been hearing all kinds of stuff about it. Like, some people say it sucks, it's horrible, the story's nothing, and others like you are like, oh, it's awesome. So I need to definitely watch it for myself to find out. I've not really. I guess the only Fantastic Four films I've seen are. I did not see the one before this with Miles Teller and stuff, but I heard that one was like really, really not good. God, the ones before that are so like 2000s-y, so 2000 superhero vibe. Thor Ragnarok, excuse me as I chew this cough drop. Thor Ragnarok, if it was if it was like the first Thor film to come out, then it might be like a B or like an A maybe. Maybe it's B. I don't know. Maybe it'd be a B if it was like the first one to come out. But it's such it just changes tone so badly from what came before. And like, granted, the previous 2 Thor films, as you can see, weren't like stellar either. But you can perfect the formula rather than actually just switch gears entirely and just kill off his friends like nothing, kill his dad like nothing. I think a filmmaker has to have respect for the story he's entering, rather than just kind of yank it by the leash and be like, hey, come here, you're gonna do my thing. There's a big difference between, or you wonder if there's a big difference between how people who know nothing about the Fantastic Four and people who are familiar would react. Interesting. Doctor Strange gets an A from you. Yeah. For as much as they talk about magic and mysticism in Doctor Strange, there's not a ton of, I don't know, like, actual mystical stuff going on. Like, it's a lot of, like, I don't know, magic shields and stuff. Like, nothing that, like, Iron Man can't do with his stuff, almost. And there's a lot of, like, trippy visuals, but that's about it, like, and kind of same with Scarlet Witch. For some reason, they don't quite necessarily nail down how to portray the mysticism part of it. I don't know, but anyway, Ant-Man and the Wasp, get to see that. Honestly, was a blur. For all I know, it was an F, but when I was watching it, it was so forgettable, man. Like, I remember, like, okay, Lawrence Fishburne is in it, he's good but then bad, and then what's her face was a cool villain, kind of a cool take on bad guys, but overall, like, the movie, it was nothing. And then no surprise, Endgame and Infinity War are like straight S tier. You give Ant-Man and the Wasp a B. That's good. Ant-Man and the Wasp does nothing egregiously wrong, but I think for my money, if it is forgettable, then why did I watch it? You know what I mean? And so that's a C. It's if it was bad, if it had bad parts, I'm like, okay, it's an F. There's no redeeming value. But since it's just so non-offensive, then the lowest I'll give it is a C. Black Widow was just bad, honestly. Straight up. And there were times before this I would have given Ragnarok an F too. Like when I first watched it, the first like 1 or 2 times I watched it, I would have given it an F. I was just like offended by it. But it has like enough heart to bump it up a little bit. I heard Love and Thunder was horrible and Taika Waititi going too far, but I have not watched it yet. Yeah. Huh. Putting Civil War above Infinity War, crazy. So Indigo, would you put like Infinity War like at an A? I mean, for me, it's an S. I think I like Infinity War almost even more than Endgame. It might be my like number one up here. In part just because of that sense of dread that pervades the whole film. Like we have whole characters take turns becoming the MacGuffin of the film, like a hot potato kind of thing where they have to keep Vision or Doctor Strange or whoever away from the bad guys, and the bad guys are so strong, and so you feel that sense of like, oh my god, you know, like we're on the back foot the entire time, and a lot of other films wouldn't be able to nail it down quite as much as Infinity War did. Like Thanos truly does feel inevitable in that film. And excuse me. I don't know if you probably weren't here yet, Indigo, but I was telling Mike that I caught a bit of a cold over the weekend, so I got a bit of a sore throat. So, pardon me. Anyway, yeah, please pay no attention to the man drinking water and throwing back cough drops. You have only seen Avengers 3 and 4 once. I would totally say I would totally recommend watching both of them. I would say you have to watch them both as one film, honestly. Like I think release order does not help them as much. Like, can you imagine like 2 films in like 2 years in between Infinity War and Endgame? They're really supposed to be one film, and I think watching them in chrono order with them back to back, it just makes them like it makes the most epic movie you'll ever see, honestly. Thank you, Indigo. I hope I get better soon too. It's not that bad, honestly. If it was bad, I wouldn't be doing this, honestly. No way. But I will say there's a chance I might not go as long today as I usually do on these live streams if my throat doesn't hold up. Yeah, imagine having to watch Captain Marvel between those two. Yeah, like with Captain Marvel in between these 2 films, it's obvious, oh, they just want to introduce one more hero before we end it, before we get to the ending. And it just feels just not cynical, but like maybe a little bit cynical. It's you see why they're doing it. But in chronological order, her appearance in Endgame feels so much more cathartic because it's been so long since we saw her, and she was literally the second hero we've seen in the MCU. So Endgame is a bit of a return for her. Granted, they don't do much with her, so even then, like, it's a bit disappointing because, like, you would hope more for her, but they kind of show her once and then she's gone for most of the movie and then she's back, and I don't know. Doesn't get a chance to shine too much. Dude, yeah, as a Vision fan, yeah. Them nerfing Vision like so early in Infinity War. I mean, for me, before Infinity War came out, I was like, how are they gonna? Because Vision's so powerful, how are they gonna get? He's gonna have to die, right, for his Soul Stone. But how are they gonna kill him? And then they nerf him super early in the film, and he has that injury for the whole time. It's kind of lame, and I was caught off guard as well, but it almost really heightened the suspense for me. It's like having a broken leg and you're running away from a bear. You're like, oh my god, go go go. Yeah. I don't know if they used her well in Endgame, honestly, Mike. I don't know. They used her fine. I think they used her well for like release order. In chrono order, like, I would love to have a scene where she gets caught up on a lot that's happened on Earth. I want her to like, how does she react when she sees, oh, Nick assembled the Avengers and they have her call sign, or like, who have they fought on Earth? What's happened? Shield is what now? What happened to Shield? And then I don't know, something. The girl boss scene was cringe for me too, but I can see, it's not my bag, but maybe it's someone else's. I'm not gonna take that away from someone else. Yeah, the promises they made for Vision. Age of Ultron is like, oh man, Vision is like God mode. Vision is insane. And then after Age of Ultron, you had Civil War, and we were all like, oh, whoever side Vision is on, they're just gonna win because he's so strong. And then he kind of got handled, and then he got super handled in Infinity War. So yeah, he never matched the highs that he hit in Age of Ultron. He single-handedly ended the film. Like, if they had him at the start of the movie, there'd be no movie because he just destroyed Ultron like that. So anyway, but yeah, so that's my ranking right there. I don't know about y'all, but I kind of feel like doing some. I thought about doing like a new activity this week, but frankly, I just kind of am thinking about falling back on something I did already, which is, one second. Oh, is it not gonna work? I was actually thinking of doing Oregon Trail 2 again, honestly, but that may or may not work. Where does it go? Where'd it go? Did you guys like yeah, Celery? Oh yeah. Well, I guess Mike, I did say I would tell you why I called it that last week. How did we get on that? How did we get on the Celery thing last week? Oh yeah, because the playing Oregon Trail 2, I ran out of food, right? And then we had to. The only thing, or one of the only things that we could buy in bulk was like celery on the trail, and like I got on this whole tangent of how celery is like a garbage food. It has no value whatsoever. Honestly, like it's like how like it's the only food you can eat like 20 pounds of and still die of starvation. Where did I put Oregon Trail 2, guys? Bro. Did I lose it? And yeah, and celery ain't too nutritious. What nutritional value does celery have? It's not even good food for delivering sauces or dips. I don't know why. Whatever guy conned the buffalo wing industry into thinking like it's a good side to go with wings. Like that guy deserves all the money in the world because he did his job. Uh, Holy moly, where did Oregon Trail 2 go? Guys, come on. In Oregon, yeah. Yeah, we were yeah, it was in Oregon Trail 2. Oh yeah, where did it go? Oregon Trail 2 went all the way to Oregon, actually. Actually, you know what? This is actually kind of bothering me. I don't know where I put it. Now you can see my ROM folder. Yes, I am a ROM person. Holy moly, guys! I mean, like we don't have to do that. We can do I got other stuff I can do too. Huh? Well, you have died of eating celery. He couldn't stop eating. He ate 50 pounds of celery and lost 100 pounds because there's no calories in there. Steam library, where's Steam games? Where it go? No, it's not in there. Game box. I checked that. Yo, I checked that. That is bonkers. It's just gone. Well, if not that, then I'm gonna pull something else up. Celery is the opposite of comfort food. That is entirely true. That is like what would you call it? Discomfort food. Like the crunch isn't even satisfying. It's not pleasant when it's cold. It's not pleasant when it's warm. It has no flavor, but somehow it has enough flavor to like override whatever you're pairing it with. So I don't know. It's just a garbage food. The only time it's good is if it's like chopped up into like tiny pieces and you put it in a soup, or like like a chicken noodle soup or something. Oh, there it is. Right. I might have to like remount it or something. Yeah, hold on. I have to. How did I do that before? I might not even bother, frankly. Open in terminal. There was something about this game. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna abort that. What we are gonna do is we can I figure we can either continue our Knights of the Old Republic campaign we were doing before, or hit some Jade Empire, some classic BioWare stuff, or go find Carmen Sandiego. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Another like retro blast from the past. Right on. I thrown off a little bit. I did not count on Oregon Trail 2 not being available. Yeah, whatever you guys feel like. While you kind of mull on that. Yeah. Carmen Sandiego is like the ex who just needs to stay lost in time. Tell me about it. Where in the world? Okay, let's do some Carmen. I've not played Where in Time as Carmen Sandiego, actually. Hold on a second.
Hello, I am Warren, the Warrant Robot. I will be assisting you in acquiring warrants. Please register your equipment with the Acme Satellite Network.
There we go. Where in Europe? I didn't know that was a thing. Hmm. Let's get some of that. There we go. Okay. How many Carmen Sandiego games were there?
Identity verification complete. The chief has been expecting you.
I'm going to see about downloading Where in Time, and maybe even Where in Europe, and then we can go through.
Welcome to Acme. I hope your career is a long and successful one. Here are the details of your first case. You must apprehend the thief by the date recorded on your detective brief, track the thief to her hideout, and arrest her. A travel agent is available at all times by pressing the travel auto dial button. Harder.
So, this is a, my mouse is stuck.
Try pressing the auto dial button marked travel.
Go away. Okay. This image in the bottom left is from when we played Oregon Trail 2. Don't need that. All right. This is I know I
Try
set this.
pressing the auto dial button marked travel.
Okay. I said this about Oregon Trail 2, but I think this is another game where the Uncanny Valley is strong.
So you're the new Acme detective. My name is Shiley.
And
you
it's
can call me Shile.
Yep, just
I'll
creepy
be the
enough.
travel agent for this case. Grab your bags, Flatfoot.
When I was a kid, story time. When I was a kid, that travel agent lady just made me feel uneasy, like a ton for some reason. Not sure what the odds are of this music getting us copyright claimed, but we'll find out. Oh, Indigo, you'll remember this last time. I think where I watched the I pulled up the I Feel Fantastic video. That music got me copyright claimed. Who'd have thought? She asked if crocodiles were a danger to swimming in the Niger River. So she's a woman, and she's a swimming is not a thing.
She was really wigged out.
Wigging out is a older term than I thought. She has a wig. Oh yeah. And how often did you guys did you guys ever catch Carmen back in the day? Because I sure never did.
Hello, worldwide travel.
Oh, we're going to Africa.
Keep your eyes open so you don't miss the view or a clue.
Did your copy of Europe or even In Time, did that come with like a encyclopedia to help you with the game? Because I think ours did. Where in the world did?
A vile henchman. You must be on the right track.
Carmen Sandiego is one. Oh, you had this one. That's cool. Never played it. There's a math one. Wonder what's that one called? Where in Math is Carmen Sandiego? I'm going to lower that a little bit. Listen to those tunes. Query the artist. Now, what country was this guy is describing the whole world.
She was carrying an oxygen tank, crash helmet, and rope.
So she's like a mountain climber. Eh? Well, no. Yeah, mountain climber. And she's, as you can see, I'm not really dealing too much with this stuff in here. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Worldwide travel, you show, you go.
That's right. What country was a colony for Kingston, sure. Oh, it actually was Where in the World. Okay, well. Oh, you didn't play Where in Time, you played Where in the World? Oh, hey, I feel like Indigo, we have a lot of... Did we do this last time? Where you thought you had a different version of Oregon Trail, but it ended up being the same one I was playing? Same thing here, man. That's the pattern. She's a nomad. Probably Mongolia. Mahogany is black. There we go. Skip. Carmen Sandiego, a math detective. So, like, was she, did you play as her doing the math? Or were you solving math to catch her? I don't know. I'm kind of really interested in this. Carmen Sandiego is one of those things where I think for a long time, like, oh, that kind of make a cool movie or show, like modern day. But then, like, when, like, I didn't bother with the cartoon when it came out. I think that was more for, like, a younger crowd, but still. Imagine, like, a gritty Carmen Sandiego. Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego? Malaga. Who would describe eyes as avocado color? Just say green, dude. Honestly. Ah. Mahogany's a reddish brown. Is it? Andalusian dog. Her vehicle is dog. Okay, so Mahogany was hair, right? We'll say brown. Okay. Carmen on HBO. Yeah, like imagine like the game of the like a Game of Thrones version of Carmen Sandiego. Like I know it sounds like a parody, but I would watch the crap out of that.
Hello, what's the destination, Globetrotter?
And not just because, you know, reasons. I'm gonna guess this one.
Oh, sure, I can get you there.
Yeah, she's off-putting for sure. Ah, limited. Ah, I missed her. Okay. Alright, I did miss her. She wasn't here. Lame.
Worldwide travel, you show, you go.
I usually do better at this game. I'm sorry. I forgot the rest of the... We came from... Back to... What were the questions? Or what were... I could backtrack to Ulaanbaatar, but then I think I would risk her getting away. So I'm going to do the responsible thing. And just guess.
As the Spanish say, hasta la vista. Ta-ta for now, hun.
That's right. Think we got her. Ah, yes.
Remember, you will need a warrant.
How does the chief know I'm right there? And she's like right there too. I need a warrant.
Warrant V, warrant robot reporting for duty. Gumshoe, initiate transmission by pressing the send button.
Yep.
Receiving transmission. Initiating search of Acme database. Warrant secured for Armadillo.
Hermagerd. Okay. Nope, that wasn't the one. Alright, we're gonna catch her and then we'll do something else.
Hold it right there.
Oh man, Indigo, yeah, kind of similar to what we were saying last time, where you start a show one way and then it turns into something else. That would be dope. Like, yeah, it's like a somewhat typical crime spy thriller. At the end, you see her don like the red trench coat and the red hat, and then somebody ends the season with, "Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?"
Congratulations! The people of Asia are indebted to you for
Asia.
cultural treasures. Thanks to you, Armadillo will be put behind bars. You've earned a promotion. I am happy to inform you of your promotion to investigator. Your next case awaits you. Press the send button to receive your next case. Press the cancel button to assign a new detective.
Yep. All right, we are going to cancel.
Okay. Take some time off to sharpen your investigative skills.
Yeah,
Prepare for your next case.
I'm pretty spent.
Hello, I am Warren, the warrant robot.
Ugh.
I will be assisting you.
All right,
in
stop.
acquiring warrants.
Stop.
Please register your equipment.
Stop.
Satellite network.
I'm done. It was hard to turn off games back in the day. All right. So we are going to shift gears for the remainder of our time here. A game that I went into on my creepy video game video here. It's becoming a pattern at this point, but kind of a fun one. Is when I show you Signalis. I'm gonna quickly change my headset so I can hear it. All right. This is another kind of like analog horror throwback in the style of like a Resident Evil maybe. As you can see, I have started and stopped this a lot. Yes, but I don't think I've gotten even halfway through this game. As you can see, you play as like an android with really narrow feet, and like I said, it's a big throwback to like your classic like Resident Evil games or something like that. I am a sucker for fixed camera angles. It's kind of a shame what they did to like the remake of Until Dawn, getting rid of that. That's really lame. What really kind of solidifies the kind of unnerving feeling of horror for me is like the lack of music and sound effects. I might have said that last time too. It is very cool, Indigo. It is like I want to get a little bit deeper into this to show you. It is so, like I said, unnerving, and like if I was like 10 years old playing this, it would give me like nightmares for like a week. So you wake up on this ship that's clearly crashed on this planet. You don't know kind of what you're doing or why you're here or why it crashed. Yeah, the ambient sounds do, I think, more work than a like creepy score could. like you're trying to hear. I think in the quiet ambient soundscape, your ears strain to hear anything. Like your senses are heightened that much more, and so you kind of feel like prey. I don't know. That's just my take on it. And it wouldn't be a true horror game without a blood smeared page from a diary. Woke up from crypto blank in, I assume, empty mess hall. I was wondering blank. Alistair looking out for blank, blank, blank. Lost in thought. Sometimes I feel like something. So I am in a bad way. There's nobody here. It's locked. Oh, here we go. And like the lore behind this game, like it doesn't really spell it out for you, but you find little clues here and there as to like what led up to this point. It kind of feels to me almost like Germany won World War II kind of thing, and this is like a future where that happened. And then the odd switches to first person. That definitely doesn't help. It just kind of, I don't know, puts you off balance just enough. So I think this is how I get out. But I need a key card. Yep, key card. Yeah. It's totally like being afraid of what's in the dark. And that's something that I think, yeah, true masters of the medium know how to work with. Like they have enough. They are secure enough to entrust the audience with bringing their own experience into the story. Like I feel like as a filmmaker, it'd be easy to be like, okay, we need to tell the audience how to feel, right? We're gonna, get the music score here. We're going to, make sure the audience knows they're supposed to be scared. But I think a confident one knows how to lead their viewer naturally, right? Make them feel like scared all on their own. Yeah, less is definitely more. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back in here. Oh wait, I need to look at. That's right. Here we go. Top. So let's say 1, 3, 5, 8, 9. 1, 3, 5, 8, 9. There we go. Ooh. Okay, so I got the airlock key covered in blood, and then we combine that with the tape that we found. There we go. Okay, now we can get out of here. The airlock was not that way. It wasn't that way either. Nope, it's this way, obviously. Now this way. are not alone. That is for sure. Do you have any recommendations for like any unnerving, creepy games? Like if I were to do like a follow up to that video, specifically like or especially from like back in the day, Uncanny Valley type stuff. Apparently, this game features a lot of like classical pieces. Like if you're like a classical music nerd, like there's a lot to get from this game, which was news to me. Trying to move. How can I? Oh, why am I not moving? Am I moving? Oh, I have a cursor. Okay. There we go. For some reason, you have to like aim with the cursor and then like select which way you want to go. Like press A, like hold it down. All right. One thing that you'll find that this game really leans into, and I think does really good at, is just good old environmental storytelling, where you don't get a lot of people looking you in the face and saying, "This is what's going on. This is where this comes from. This is why we're doing this." It's a lot of, I think, piecing things together, and you discover it for yourself. Which, when done wrong, is a little annoying, because it feels like the game is being coy, like needlessly. I think, but in this case, it is to its benefit. I think that kind of stuff is best in a good old-fashioned like horror game. That first time I saw this, I was like, what the heck is this? Full of insights with no experiences. I like that. Hey Mike, thanks for joining, man. Good night, man. Have a good one. I'll see you around. Thanks for joining. Go get some sleep. Yeah, have fun going to sleep after this. So yeah, I was like, what the, what am I playing here? Apparently that was that last piece was a pretty well known classical piece, which was unknown to me at the time. Some of those Flash games from back in the day were pretty freaky, I will say. Right? I told you. This game's pretty sick. But I am such a chicken, I have never finished it. Okay. So, now we find ourselves in what looks to be a empty facility. I think it's a school. Part of, I think, revealing your story, revealing a crazy scenario, is doing it measuredly, in bits and pieces. Like you start in the bathroom, nothing crazy out of the ordinary, right? Like, oh, there's like one door that's maybe kind of weird. The lights are mostly off, but whatever. And then, yeah, that was me. That was me after eating all that celery, huh? And then you come out and you find, oh, there's no one at reception. That's odd. Staff shortage. Pick up their key. Okay. As you reveal, like, what's going on in pieces, I think you pose questions to your viewer and then you answer them pretty quickly after that, only to find another question. So like, hey, okay, cool. Staff shortage. Key. That's weird. Our next question is, see that camera up top? It's tracking me. Well, why? Who's watching me and why? And why can't I open these doors? There we are. Here we go. Where is everybody? Possibly dead. Right. Don't rush it. Let the audience get invested. Exactly. Pose questions and give them answers as they are ready. Which, like, it's not that I know of. It's not a hard science, right? It's kind of, you just have to feel it out, and that's what a truly gifted storyteller knows how to do. That's pacing, right? That's I talk about it on the video. Like, pacing is not like a set time period, right? Like, it's placing beats, or in this case, your question and answer, at natural points. See, yeah. So this facility looks to be like a school, right? A lot of German, a lot of kind of like propaganda-ish looking art, right? I mean, that is German, right? Yeah. Okay, I need a... All right. This sucker's not doing too good. Where are all these hearts coming from? I just love, bloody cyborgs. Now, my question is, like, why is there a mine shaft under a facility like this? Again, I think it's a school, but it could be more than that. Yeah, we couldn't get back on the trail. I was kind of, yeah, I was planning on doing Oregon Trail 2 again, but I should have checked it before the stream, because like, to get it to play, you have to basically create a virtual drive, a virtual disk drive, and then kind of mount it on that. And I can do it, like, I've done it, but like, in the moment of, like, being on stream, and I don't know, the pressure of, having people watch you, I was just like, ah, forget it. It's gonna take too long. I'll do it. I'll do it next time. Honestly, I'll get it sorted out for next time, and we can hit the trail again, like, next week. Because I was kind of looking forward to it too. I was done dirty last time. I did not do well. Plus, I could probably, like, go through the guidebook to see what kind of illness I have right now. What illness is, like, congestion, sore throat, mild discomfort. Oh. Hold on, my controller is dead. Give me 1 second. That's why we have two. All right. So we have no actual what? You don't have Windows 98? I know. what a what a dweeb. Yo, we used to have Windows 98. We used to have Windows 95 back in the day. Now that thing, like, when you turned on, like, Windows Paint, that thing would, like, burn up. You could hear it going. I remember, yeah, we got Windows 98, and I thought that was, like, the coolest thing ever. Like your wallpaper could be, like, an actual, like, picture. It's like, what the? That's crazy. Oh, 98 came before XP. I'm pretty sure XP came out. Okay, it was 95, and then 98, I think, and then ME. Was ME after that? That was, like, Millennium Edition. I knew one person who had that, and it was kind of trash. But I think after ME was XP. That was, like, 2000, 99. Hold on a second. We are going to look at this. When did XP come out? 2001. Okay. What about Emmy? 2000. I see. So yeah, it was yeah, 95, 98, Emmy, then XP. And as we all know, XP was the last good one. not a millennial, so I don't know. Yeah, right. Yeah, millennial edition. Yeah, Windows ME was like, yeah, the default background was, you know, avocado toast, and it was basically a hipster theme, and all the sounds were like, that happened, so I did a thing. Okay, yeah, dude, Paint was awesome. I mean, I guess it still is cool, but whatever. We my buddy and I would make like these like slideshow kind of animated things in Paint, coupled with PowerPoint. They would take like literally all night to make like a dozen slides, like the lamest little animated slideshow thing. Killing slightly. Well, that's the problem, Indigo. They're not jokes. It's totally real. The box had like a giant pair of glasses on them that didn't do anything, like Zoe Deschanel style. So I need to go here. Moving the boundaries. I'm not sure where I'm at, honestly. It's easy to get turned around here. Oh, yo, listen to this. The save. Yeah, that saving sound? Forget it. That, like, scream. It's terrible. Which gen? You'll regret this later. Oh, that's terrible. Um, the boundaries. It's funny because the boundaries for generations are like they're not official, right? There's not like a government thing for it. But I feel like a lot of people, the consensus is like 1990 or no 1980 to 96 is millennial, and then 96 to basically what 2010 or something is Gen Z. Somebody I heard once somebody said if you remember the Challenger explosion, you're Gen X. If you remember 9/11, you're millennial. And if you remember neither one, then you're like a Gen Z. Classroom key. Where's the class? Oh, you know what? I need to go. Yeah. So Windows 95 is millennial. Windows 98 is Gen Z. Do I have anything? I need a code. I was hoping there'd be a code on there. Nope, nothing. I need to find a code for that vault, or that safe. there's something else in the library. Oh, I need an aperture card. Yeah, a lot of like lore and stuff would get filled in with stuff I was just looking at, but you know, who has time for that right now? Yeah, I get it. Like I think it's easy to paint with a broad brush as nowadays and be like, "Oh, you're this generation, so, you know, you must feel this, this and this." Which by and large I don't find to be accurate. I feel like that's not crazy helpful. Um I think a lot of times that can kind of shut down conversation. Like the whole idea that like boomers are all a certain way, I feel like does kind of a disservice to all of us. Like you wouldn't want people to like judge you based on like what year you were born. You know, it's kind of like new age astrology, almost. But yeah, you should determine what your identity is for sure. Which, speaking of which, Indigo, how was your day? Did you have you said it was Sunday school today? Kind of in the morning. Where do I go? Oh, I'm gonna go that way. I'm gonna go down the corridor. I need a code and a key. Oh, I use it. Okay. Yep. Eventually, we'll all be old, and the youngsters won't listen to us either. I know. Seriously. Um, have you seen that that clip from The Simpsons where Grandpa Simpson's talking to Homer back in the day, and like it's back when Homer was younger, like a teenager, and he's like, you're not with it, Dad. You'll never understand. And Grandpa Simpson is like, hey, I used to be with it. And then one day it changed, and then what is it was weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you. it's I found this to be very, very true. Like one day, you know what's up. You know, advertising is all for you, and you know what's cool. And then you know you go to sleep and wake up enough times, and somehow suddenly, you know, you're not the main target audience for commercials, and you don't know what's cool anymore. What's cool is lame, and what used to be cool is now lame, and what is now cool is weird. A little bit of lore filling in here, like, you know, I mentioned environmental storytelling. Like finding like notes are a good way to do it. Like here, you know, a certain term that's blocked out is no longer permissible, you know. So we're living in a world where like, oh, the state determines vocabulary, you know. Like it's not crazy necessary to the story, but dang, that's good framing, I think, for the story. I'm glad it was good. Glad today was good. Now we're getting somewhere. Aperture card. So this was for the microfilm thing. So we'll go back there. Redacted. I know. Okay. Oh wait. Hold on. More. You know what's funny? I don't know. I feel like when I was kind of coming up, the whole like people took pride in like pushing the boundaries, you know. But it seems like I can't help but kind of laugh whenever I'm like, oh geez, nope, I forgot that was gonna happen. All right. Ah. Oh jeez. Oh jeez, Rick. Hold on a second. How do I smash that guy? Okay, you have to stomp them, like in Dead Space. That's right. I forgot. You like get paranoid of like dead bodies because they can come back to life. Oh, anyway, no, I've been pushing boundaries like um, like not edgy, but kind of like breaking ground on like I don't know expression or like I don't know, yeah, kind of pushing it, and then nowadays you kind of contrast that with like it's funny to see not just folks on YouTube but also like Reddit comments or Instagram comments or whatever, like people censoring themselves when they don't have to. Like there's no reason to. I feel like that's more common. That self censorship. Like it started as like you censor yourself because you didn't want to get demonetized, but it's kind of bled into online culture as a whole, where you kind of censor yourself, specifically with language, you know, which I always think is kind of funny. I feel like if you're going to censor yourself in text, like online, just use a different word. It almost draws attention to like more attention to yourself when you like throw some asterisk like you throw some censorship in there, some asterisks. I feel like just use a different word. And then this lady, being all cryptic. But yeah, I don't know if I clarified that enough. I feel like yeah, nobody's monetizing me. Yeah, clearly I have nothing to worry about for quite a while, quite a while. I mentioned my like other stream from the other week. Sounds or got demonetized, but there's nothing to monetize in there anyway. Who is nobody? Yeah, I'm nobody. Okay. We have the code 204-512. I'm sure I'll keep that here. Issa's note. So it looks like, like I'm not the only person here looking for somebody. So the story, like I said, is not doled out cleanly. You put together kind of slowly, like, I came here for a reason. This facility is, at first you thought it was abandoned. Now it's clearly been kind of a massacre. And we're here looking for people. There are people to rescue. Well, hopefully there's people to rescue. Okay, now we gotta go back up to the classroom. Nope. Okay. How did I oh, we gotta go up. Let's get that save sound. Okay. Okay, hopefully I didn't have to write down that that code. Don't tell me I have to write down that code. Oh, is yours? No way. If I have to go all the way back to that. Oh, thanks, Indigo. Okay. You're a lifesaver. 2, 4, 5, 1, 2. No, wait. There we go. Nice. Hooray! Okay, we got our classroom key. Now we can go unlock that door up there. She's gone! You hope she's doing okay. Yep, round, hard, can get sticky. Real lifesaver. I heard recently about a person who died. Not recently, because they choked on a lifesaver. That's the most ironic thing ever. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I get what you're saying now. Yep, round hard can get sticky. I'm a real lifesaver. Nice. Now it gets freaky. Alright, so something's going on, obviously, in this lower level. This is bad news bears. Dude, every time I see a body on the ground, I'm waiting for it to like hop up. A lot of number 2s. Yeah, you are the number 2s. You're the number 2 king right now. But no, feel free to chime in as much as you want. Yeah. All right. I want to get to at least one more kind of crazy part. Yeah, thank you. No, number 2s are cool. Number 2s are cool. I assume you were talking about like the number 2s next to your name, like the crown. Does that mean like the number 2 like commenter on there? Not entirely sure. I know. I sure hope so too. I assume that's good, actually. I know Mike was number one, but now that he's gone, now that he's gone, I would have assumed you'd be number one now. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either. What else it could mean? Number two, most bestest. So sometimes I like see these notes, like in these, horror games and whatever, and the message is like, oh my gosh, that's pretty unnerving. But imagine somebody actually taking the time to get the paper, get a pen, and just write 4 times, kick him while they're down, again and again and again. And then it'd be like, okay, that sounds good. 4 is enough. I will leave this here. And then I will run away. I need a key. Okay. Where am I? Okay. All right, man. My voice is definitely feeling it right now. I might call it for today. I was actually worried I'd have to call it sooner, so this is still kind of nice. But yeah, we're gonna call it, and I assume we'll be back again next week, unless something happens. But yeah, like I kind of said earlier, I'll get that back. I'll get on Oregon Trail 2 again. Make sure that's up and running for next time. See if we can even get whoever is in here. We'll put them on the trail and stuff. It's always a good time. But yeah, man. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining Indigo, Mari, of course. Hey guys, thanks for everything, and have a good night.